Hello, world. My name is Lena,
I'm Jimmy.
and we are the stars of Venturing Home, a family travel show starring us and our wonderful two little boys, Anthony and Ethan, and our mighty, ferocious dog, Dooley. Hi, Dooley. Um, so, our journey, the story of our family is that about 6 years ago, Jimmy had a pretty big stroke, and it really affected his right side. It affected his speech and just a lot of different functions of his brain on the left side of his brain. But thankfully,
I'm an acorn.
okay, he was weird before the stroke. That's not the stroke. But anyway, the stroke happened while I was 4 months pregnant with our first son, Anthony. And it was such a crazy time. We were in the middle of like buying our new home in Los Angeles. And then when the stroke happened, it really just kind of blew everything up. And it was a very interesting time. But thankfully, after Jimmy had his surgery, he had a cerebral bypass surgery for his brain. And then with intensive therapy, he improved a lot. And then just at first he improved a lot, and then after a while kind of just started tapering off, but he's still recovering, and the truth is he'll be in recovery for the rest of his life. And I'm beginning to realize it's not so much him recovering his old self. This is the new him, and this is him just creating himself every day of his life. And I realize he'll never go back to being the Jimmy he was before, but that's just how life is, and that kind of applies to all of us, right? We're always constantly like reinventing ourselves. Anyway, um
By the way, maybe better
uh
than before.
in some ways
No.
he talks less, so that's a good thing. No.
Okay.
But and let me continue. So we're telling you all this as kind of the backstory to what we're about to embark on right now. Jimmy had a stroke. We had Anthony shortly after, and then when Anthony was 9 months old, my mom passed away. I was very close to my mom. I was her caregiver for a long time, and her passing was very, very devastating. It was probably the hardest thing in my life. Is there a bug on my lip? Oh my god. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, my mom passing away and then Jimmy's stroke, I think really gave both of us a sense of urgency in life. And we were, we were adventurous, and we were ambitious in our own ways before, but those big life events really kind of woke us up and made us more driven to make the most out of this life and enjoy it as much as possible. So, with a lot of perseverance, really, I think in some ways crisis brings out the best of me. Like, I get into this like soldier mode and like become strong and resilient and march on. And when all else fails, just my sheer stubbornness always comes through. And here we are, 6 years later. Jimmy is doing great, mostly, and we are doing great, mostly. We do squabble a lot,
Squabble
but for the most part we're okay.
all the
and
time.
and then 2 years after Anthony, our sweet little sweet potato Ethan was born, and so now they are 5 and 3. And we started traveling. I've always wanted to travel ever since I was a little girl. And I've been to about 30 countries or so. And then I had this goal, I declared this goal to go to 40 countries by age 40. And that was like a couple years ago. And so we started traveling, and then we discovered the world of cruising. We realized it was a really easy, convenient way to hit up a lot of countries in one shot. So we started cruising. I think so. We've been to about 5 cruises in the last 2 years, and we made our goal of 40 countries. Woo! So our boys have been to about like 10 countries already, within the age of 3 and 5. And we decided to continue on. So our first son Anthony is finishing preschool and was going to start kindergarten in the fall, but We decided after much research and thinking and exploring. I visited probably like close to 20 kindergartens, and we went to Portland and Colorado and Texas and just looked at different neighborhoods, different cities, different schools. And after all that searching, we have decided to forego traditional kindergarten and world school our children. Not homeschool, but world school. It's a new kind of emerging thing where we educate them out in the world and let the world be their school. So that's where we are, and we decided to launch this show to document our journey, to share our experience with you all, and share our joys and triumphs and struggles and all the good stuff, all the ups and downs, and hopefully inspire you all to pursue more adventure in your lives as well. I forgot to mention something important. So when we decided to travel the world a few months ago, we said, okay, let's do this. Let's rent out our home. And at first we thought we were going to get an RV and travel around the country. But I forget why we decided against that. For various reasons, we decided against that. But we ended up renting out our home already, so we had to move out, and so we ended up getting a one-bedroom apartment in Koreatown. And I thought it'd be cool if we went back to the building that I lived in 10 years ago when I started dating Jimmy. It was like 12 years ago. And so we got a one-bedroom apartment, and here we are. This is the one-bedroom apartment. It's fine. It's doable, except we found out very quickly that it's infested with roaches. And I'm finding that very intolerable, but it's actually a good thing because it's really motivating me to hurry up and get out of here. That was a very important part of our journey. And had it not been for the roaches, we might have ended up just kind of sitting back and just dilly-dallying here. But no, we must get out of here soon. So
Okay.
that is why we're traveling.
Okay.
Yes. So that's it. So where are we going next?
No comment.
Okay. Well, then I'll just keep talking. So maybe Greece. I don't know how much we want to talk about that. There's a specific reason.
Let's do it for the next topic.
Okay. Well,
just
where were we going to end?
Just end it and then be done.
Okay. Stay tuned. More to come.
Exactly. Thank you. Bye.